Did you know that the average American senior has accumulated over 300,000 items in their home? That's right. Professionals estimate we collect between 2,000 to 5,000 items every year of our adult lives. No wonder 78% of seniors feel overwhelmed when they try to declutter. But here's what those $150 per hour professional organizers don't want you to know. They use 4 specific psychological techniques to transform cluttered spaces, and they're keeping these methods secret to protect their business. Today, I'm going to reveal these insider secrets that will change how you approach your space forever. I discovered these techniques after working with Martha, a 72-year-old widow who went from "I can't let anything go" to reclaiming her home in just 3 weekends. Stay tuned for secret number 3. It's the game changer that even organization experts don't discuss publicly. Welcome back to the Senior Reset, where we help you create the peaceful, purposeful retirement you deserve. I'm James, and today I'm pulling back the curtain on the decluttering industry. I've spent the last 15 years helping seniors transition to simpler living, and I've worked alongside dozens of professional organizers. What I noticed was fascinating. They all use the same 4 psychological techniques, but they never share these methods in their YouTube videos or social media posts. Why? Because these simple approaches would dramatically reduce how many sessions their clients need. Let me introduce you to Martha. At 72, she'd been in her family home for 43 years. After her husband passed, the clutter became overwhelming. Not just physically, but emotionally. She'd tried 3 different professional organizers, spending thousands of dollars with minimal progress. When I visited Martha's home, I couldn't believe what I saw. Her dining room table hadn't been used for meals in years. Her spare bedroom couldn't even be entered. And most concerning, she'd created narrow pathways through her home that were becoming a falling hazard. What Martha needed wasn't more storage bins or color-coded systems. She needed these 4 psychological shifts that transform how seniors approach their belongings. After implementing these strategies, Martha cleared over 60% of her home in just 3 weekends, without the emotional distress she'd experienced before. Today I'm going to show you exactly how she did it, and how you can too. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments, what's the one area in your home that causes you the most stress when you look at it? I read every comment and would love to offer some personalized advice. Now, let's uncover secret number 1, the technique that changed everything for Martha. The first decluttering secret professional organizers won't share is what I call the future self method. Here's why this is so powerful for seniors. When we reach our 60s, 70s and beyond, we've spent decades making decisions based on our past. We keep things because of what they meant to us before, not what they'll mean to us going forward. Professional organizers know this, but instead of addressing it directly, they focus on organizing what you already have, which often means you need to buy more storage solutions and book more sessions. Martha's breakthrough came when I asked her a simple question. Who do you want to be for the next 10 years of your life? This shifted her entire perspective. Instead of asking, should I keep this, which keeps you focused on the past, Martha started asking, does this belong in my future? Here's how to implement this strategy in your own home. 1. Create a clear written vision of how you want to live for your next chapter. Martha's vision included hosting small dinner parties, having her grandchildren over for sleepovers, and pursuing her long-delayed interest in watercolor painting. 2. Now, when evaluating items, don't ask if they spark joy or if you might need them someday. Instead, ask, does this support the person I want to be now? For Martha, this meant keeping her quality cookware for hosting those dinner parties, but letting go of the 12 serving platters she'd collected over decades. It meant transforming her spare room into a combination guest room art studio instead of a storage unit for items from her past. The reason professionals don't share this approach? It works too well. Many of Martha's items didn't require organizing at all. They required removing because they simply didn't belong in her future. What vision do you have for your next chapter? How might your home better support that vision? Share one aspect in the comments below. You might inspire someone else. But the future self method is just the foundation. The second secret is where the real transformation begins to happen. The second secret professional organizers won't tell you is what I call the legacy timeline technique. Here's the uncomfortable truth. 65% of adult children don't want their parents' possessions. This statistic shocks most seniors I work with. You've been keeping treasured collections, family heirlooms and sentimental items with the assumption that your children or grandchildren will want them someday. Professional organizers know this reality but rarely address it head-on, because it can be emotionally difficult. Instead, they suggest boxing things up for later decision-making, which often means more storage solutions and more sessions. Martha was devastated when I shared this statistic with her. She'd been keeping her mother's china, her children's school projects, and dozens of family photo albums, all assuming her daughters would cherish these items someday. The legacy timeline technique changed everything. Instead of guessing what future generations might want, Martha did something revolutionary. She asked them directly. Here's how to implement this strategy. 1. Create 3 categories for sentimental items. Items to enjoy now, display or use them. Items to document digitally, photograph, then release. Items to pass down now. Don't wait until you're gone. 2. Have the courage to have legacy conversations with family members. Martha invited her daughters over for lunch and asked them which specific items held meaning for them. The results were surprising. One daughter had always loved a particular painting, but never mentioned it. Neither wanted the china, but both treasured specific family photos and recipes. By having this conversation, Martha could make intentional decisions rather than keeping everything just in case. For items no one wanted to keep physically, Martha created digital archives, scanning old letters, photographing childhood artwork, and creating digital photo albums that could be shared with the entire family. The freedom this gave Martha was profound. She realized she wasn't losing memories by letting go of physical items. She was actually preserving the stories by documenting and sharing them now. Have you had legacy conversations with your family? Were you surprised by what they did or didn't want? Share your experience in the comments. Your insight might help someone else who's struggling. Now let's move on to the third secret. This is the one that professional organizers protect most fiercely. The third decluttering secret, and this is the game changer, is what I call the emotional anchoring system. Professional organizers understand that clutter isn't really about stuff, it's about emotions. For seniors especially, possessions can become powerful anchors to memories, identities, and relationships. But instead of addressing these emotional connections directly, many professionals focus on the logistics of sorting and storing. This is exactly where Martha was stuck. When I asked her why she couldn't let go of her husband's workshop tools 5 years after his passing, her answer revealed everything. If I let go of his things, I'm afraid I'll forget the details of our life together. This fear of losing memories, losing connection to loved ones, or losing parts of your identity is what keeps many seniors trapped in clutter. The breakthrough comes from creating new emotional anchors that preserve what matters without keeping every physical item. Here's how the emotional anchoring system works. 1. For each category of meaningful items, like your late spouse's belongings, your children's keepsakes, or career memories, identify the core emotion or story those items represent. 2. Select 1 or 2 signature items that best capture that emotion or story. Martha kept her husband's favourite hammer and had it mounted in a shadow box with a photo of him in his workshop. 3. For everything else, create alternative memory anchors through ritual, documentation, or transformation. For example, Martha invited her family to select items from her husband's workshop, sharing stories about him as they chose tools. She photographed arrangements of meaningful items before letting them go. She had a quilt made from her husband's favourite shirts, creating a new treasure that took up less space but preserved the memories. The key insight is that we don't need to keep everything to preserve what matters emotionally. By intentionally creating these new anchors, Martha found she could actually access her precious memories more easily than when they were buried in overwhelming clutter. When Martha implemented this system, she was able to clear her husband's workshop while feeling more connected to him than she had in years. The space became a reading nook, where she feels his presence every day, rather than a cluttered shrine she avoided because it was too painful. Have you found creative ways to preserve memories while letting go of physical items? Or is there a category of items you're struggling to release? Share in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Now, let's move on to the fourth and final secret, the one that will help you maintain your progress forever. The fourth decluttering secret professional organizers never reveal is what I call the threshold mastery protocol. Here's why this final step is so crucial. Studies show that 78% of people who declutter end up re-cluttering within 18 months. Professional organizers know this. In fact, many count on it for repeat business. Instead of teaching true prevention, they focus on organizing systems that need regular maintenance and updating. For Martha, this pattern was all too familiar. She'd decluttered before, only to find herself surrounded by new accumulations within a year. What she needed wasn't more clever storage solutions. She needed to address the incoming flow. The Threshold Mastery Protocol is about becoming the thoughtful gatekeeper of your home and life. It's particularly powerful for seniors because it addresses the unique reasons we accumulate in our later years. Here's how to implement this life-changing approach. 1. Identify your specific accumulation triggers: emotional purchasing, buying to fill other needs; aspirational accumulation, items for a potential future self; inherited responsibility, taking items from downsizing friends or family; abundance mindset hangover, stockpiling from earlier, less secure times. Martha discovered her primary trigger was saying yes to items friends were discarding. She'd become the keeper in her social circle. She also realized she was still shopping for her former entertaining lifestyle, despite rarely hosting large gatherings anymore. 2. Create personalized threshold questions tailored to your specific triggers. Rather than generic questions like, "Do I need this?" Martha developed pointed questions that addressed her specific patterns. Am I accepting this out of obligation or genuine desire? Does this support my actual lifestyle today, not my former one? If I say yes to storing this item, what am I saying no to in terms of space and freedom? 3. Practice the 48-hour pause, the most powerful tool in the protocol. For any non-essential item considering entering your home, implement a mandatory 48-hour reflection period. Martha created a dedicated consideration shelf near her entrance for this purpose. When Martha mastered her thresholds, something remarkable happened. Not only did her home stay decluttered, but her purchasing patterns changed completely. She became intentional rather than reactive, and found herself surrounded only by items that truly supported her current life. The freedom this created went far beyond physical space. Martha reported feeling mental clarity and emotional lightness she hadn't experienced in decades. What are your main clutter triggers? Are you still acquiring items for a past version of yourself? Share your insights in the comments. Awareness is the first step to change. Now, let's see how these 4 secrets transform Martha's life completely. 6 months after implementing these 4 secrets, Martha's transformation was nothing short of remarkable. Her home, once filled with narrow pathways and inaccessible rooms, is now open and welcoming. She hosts weekly watercolor sessions with friends in her former spare room, now a beautiful studio with natural light streaming in through windows that were once blocked by boxes. The dining room table that hadn't seen a family meal in years now regularly hosts her grandchildren for Sunday dinners. She reports that these gatherings are more meaningful because the conversations aren't overshadowed by surrounding clutter. Most importantly, Martha's relationship with her possessions has fundamentally changed. "I used to think letting go meant losing my past," she told me recently. But now I understand that curating my belongings actually helps me honor what matters most. She no longer feels weighed down by maintenance, cleaning, organizing, and the mental burden of excess. Instead, at 73, she's experiencing a renewed sense of possibility. Physically, the transformation has been equally significant. With clear pathways and organized spaces, Martha's risk of falling has decreased dramatically. She moves through her home with confidence rather than caution. The professional organizers she'd hired previously were astonished when they saw photos of her transformed space. "You accomplished more in 3 weekends than we did in 6 months," one admitted. That's the power of addressing the psychology behind the clutter, rather than just the clutter itself. It's not about better storage containers or organizing systems. It's about better decision-making processes that align your space with who you are now and who you want to be in your next chapter. If Martha's story resonated with you, I want you to know that this transformation is absolutely possible in your home too. These 4 secrets, the future self method, the legacy timeline technique, the emotional anchoring system, and the threshold mastery protocol, can change not just your space, but your entire relationship with your possessions. If this video helped you see your clutter situation differently, please hit that like button and share it with someone who might benefit from these insights. Until next time, remember, your home should serve the life you want today, not the life you lived yesterday.